Cuba, it's me. Welcome to episode 185 of the W.I.L.L.I.W show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. Now today, somebody has a birthday. That someone would be Pat Scott Chase Murphy, otherwise known as the Outlaw Scott Chase, the King of Brantford. Where do I begin? I first met Scott Chase in 2003 at a show in, I believe, Orangeville with Wild Thing Willie Allen. Now, he was the champion of that promotion. And I'm like, oh my, like, that's what I would aspire to be one day, to be as good as this guy, the champion. And you know what? He was a good champion. He was gracious. He was nice to me. He represented the company well. And I never got to wrestle him there. But I got to watch one or two of his matches, and I thought, you know what, I hope I'm as good as this guy someday. So, fast forward a little bit later, PWA did a show in Goderich, Ontario. I believe this was 2005, maybe 6. And I looked at the lineup sheet, and sure enough, there was my name facing Scott Chase. I got the chance to wrestle him. Needless to say, I was pretty intimidated. But, you know what, the match went really well. And he gave me some confidence I didn't think I had. Like, I was like, hey, I don't think I can do this one move. He's like, you can do it. And then he said so many nice things to me after, and he really brought me up. And that was one of the many people throughout my career that have helped give me a confidence boost when I needed it. And I really enjoyed wrestling him, and he was just very gracious in the ring, very giving, true professional. And I had heard about him before I even met him, actually, in 2003. Wrestlers Talk. And there was not a lot of promotions back then, but I spent a lot of time with the Highlanders in their early days as we trained in some of the same places, and we lived at this one place together, and they always talked about the Texas Hellraisers and some of the other teams as well, but this is about the birthday boy. And they always said, oh, the Texas Hellraisers, they're a great team, blah, 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 blah. And I never put two and two together that Scott Chase was a part of that team. So anyway, the Outlaw Scott Chase wrestled him in Goderich. And like I always said, he was a champion. He had apparently been a great tag team. But I truly did not know this man's greatness until we started wrestling in Brantford. Now, there used to be a promotion in Brantford, Great Lakes Championship Wrestling. Scott Chase was one of the cornerstones of that company. Well, things had fallen through the cracks, and so PWA started running there. And we ended up making, well, not we, but the company ended up making a big GLCW versus PWA thing. And we finally started getting a lot more people to the crowds than we had previously. And wow, was Scott Chase over in Brantford. Oh my word. We did like some shows of actual GLCW versus PWA. And man, and then Hacksaw Jim Duggan was bringing in from the show. I think it was him and Hacksaw versus like Lars Phoenix and Jesse Jones or someone else. I can't remember exactly. But man, he was so over. And then he did a retirement match. Now I think this was 2006, 2007. I could be completely off. I mean, I have got hit in the head a lot. But yes, that's right. To the current fans of Scott Chase and fans of MCW and whatnot, Scott Chase retired like 10 years ago. And what a retirement show and match it was. It was amazing. And there was a huge crowd there. They were hot. I was very lucky to be on that show. That was one of the better crowds I had wrestled in front of. As far as, not size, like I had wrestled in front of crowds that size before, but that crowd was hot. And I was just like, wow, this man has so much love. The people of Brantford love him. And then, since then, you know, once in a while we'll like each other's thing on Facebook. And then we've been messaging each other a lot too, here and there. And like me personally, I always wanted to work him again. I would love to work him again. But then he resurfaced, and like he'd done a show here and there, but then all of a sudden this new company in Brantford, MCW, starts up. And guess who they select as their #1 draft pick? I mean, if you're running a show in Brantford, who else do you come knocking on the door of? You call up Scott Chase. And so they bring him out of the woodwork. I don't know how hard it was to convince him. I wasn't privy to that conversation. But Scott Chase was brought back in a big way, and boy did he ever deliver. Man, he had an amazing feud with Cody Deaner. He had some great matches with Eric Kearney and the Bill Nye Science Guy or whatever. And I haven't seen all of them, but the one, and everyone praises him and everything. And man, that guy's got to be. This has got to be like his. I'd have to say he's like 38 now. Like really, like. And he's still going strong, still having tremendous matches. He hasn't lost a step at all. What a true professional. And I don't know if he's just doing what I do and only working for one or two companies. Maybe he is, because he's getting up there like we all are. But if you want a true pro on your show, a nice person, a good person, someone that can help the youngsters and give them advice like he did for me back 14 years ago, then this is the guy you want to book. And plus his knowledge and some of the people he's been around in the business for so long, he has plenty left to give. I hope he doesn't retire for the second time anytime soon. But I always thought a lot of you. I'm kind of one of those guys that's shy, especially when back in the days I was just a young 18, 19, 20-year-old punk, so I didn't talk too much. But there's a lot of people, like if I do a tribute show to you, there's a lot of people I love in the wrestling business, but I don't get a chance to say it. And maybe it's more cowardly to just say it in front of a camera than to say it to their face, but I haven't seen the guy in a while. So I have nothing but good things to say about you. It's always been a pleasure being around you. You're a true class act. I hope you have the greatest birthday, man. I hope people blow up your wall with birthday wishes, but this is to my viewers. For the ones that have seen Scott Chase in action, let's give him everyone can say happy birthday. But the thing that cheers me up the most is when people talk about great moments from my wrestling career. So please, the viewers of the W.I.L.L.I.W show, could I ask you, what is your favorite Scott Chase memory? Please tell me. Mine would have to be that retirement show. Just being there and seeing the love he got from his family and the ovation he got at the end. Wow, that was tremendous. And remember, on the W.I.L.L.I.W show, like or you get a leg drop, comment or you get a clothesline, subscribe or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Happy birthday, Outlaw. Cuba!